In this video, we're looking at adding and subtracting polynomials. In order to do this, we have to identify what we call like terms. And like terms are terms with the same variable or variables and the same exponent on those variables. To add polynomials, first you remove any parentheses by using distribution. Then you combine like terms by adding their coefficients. Let's look at this first example. We want to subtract two polynomials. So our first polynomial, we have negative 3x to the 6 plus 3x to the 4th minus x squared. And we're subtracting the entire polynomial, 1 plus 9x squared minus 5x to the 4th minus x to the 5th. So the first thing I have to do before I can combine any like terms is I have to distribute. I have a negative in front of the second polynomial, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute to all four terms. So that's my first step. Distribute. So my first polynomial is going to remain as is, negative 3x to the 6 plus 3x to the 4th minus x squared. And I don't have to do anything to those terms because there was no coefficient written in front of that set of parentheses, so nothing to distribute. Now I'm going to have minus 1, because that negative distributes, minus 9x squared plus 5x to the 4th, because the negative distributes and I get a negative times a negative gives me a plus, so plus 5x to the 4th, and then plus x to the 5th. So distributing a negative changes all the signs that are inside the parentheses. Now that I've distributed, I can go ahead and look for like terms. There are no more parentheses. So there's a couple ways I can do this. One is I can line up the like terms and combine them. Or the second is I can just circle like terms and combine their coefficients that way. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the largest degree, so negative 3x to the 6th power. There are no other x to the 6th powers. I have my plus x to the 5th power. There's only a single term with the x to the 5th power. Now I'll do my x to the 4th power. So I have 3x to the 4th power. I also have 5x to the 4th power. So I'll have plus 5x to the 4th power. So these two are going to be like terms that get combined. Now I'll do my cubes. So I look for any third power terms, and I don't have any, so I don't have to write anything for the x to the 3rd term. Now I'll do my x squared. So I'm going to have, I'll write this as plus negative 1x squared. I'm getting that from right here. The negative x squared, I'm writing it as negative 1x squared. And then I have minus 9x squared. Those are like terms that will combine. And I look for any constants now. The only constant that I see is this minus 1. All right, so my final answer is going to be negative 3x to the 6th power plus x to the 5th power. Now I look at the 3x to the 4th plus 5x to the 4th, and I combine their coefficients. So 3 plus 5 is 8. So I get plus 8x to the 4th power. I have negative x squared minus 9x squared. Negative 1 and negative 9 is minus 10. So I have minus 10x squared and then minus 1. This would be my final answer because I don't have any more like terms to combine. All right, so I've combined the like terms on that one. Now I want to do 3 times the polynomial 7w cubed plus 3w minus 6 plus 2 times the polynomial negative w cubed minus 4w squared plus 3w plus 8. So the first thing I need to do is distribute. So that 3 will pull through to all 3 terms in the first polynomial. So I will end up with 21w cubed plus 9w minus 18. So I did 3 times each number. So 3 times 7 gave me the 21, 3 times 3 gave me the 9, and 3 times negative 6 gave me the negative 18. Now I'll distribute the 2 to all 4 terms of the second polynomial. So I'll get minus 2w cubed minus 8w squared plus 6w plus 16. All right, so now I want to look for like terms. And one way you can do this, if you didn't like the way that I did that above, another way you can do it is you can actually line up your like terms. So I have my 21w cubed. I look for any other cube terms. I have minus 2w cubed. So underneath that, I'm going to line it up with minus 2w cubed. Now I look at the squared terms. I have a minus 8w squared. I only have the single squared term, so I'm going to not line that up with anything else. I have a plus 9w and a plus 6w. And then my constant terms, I have a minus 18 and a plus 16. Notice I'm not changing the signs. This is not the same as trying to solve an equation. I'm just trying to combine the coefficients that are in front of the variable with the same degree. So the cubics line up, the squareds line up, the w's line up, and the constants line up. So now I'm going to go ahead and combine. So 21 minus 2 gives me 19. So I'll have 19w cubed minus 8w squared. 9 and 6 gives me plus 15w. And negative 18 plus 16 gives me a minus 2. That would be my final answer because I've combined all of the coefficients on the like terms. So in other words, I've combined all the like terms. So remember, when you are combining like terms, you take whatever sign you see and you add or subtract the coefficients accordingly to what sign you see.